Brandon, exactly how did this happen?
Yeah, hi, Jay. Yeah, this morning's shoot was the result of a phone call from a citizen who actually requested police come and find a man who had been terrorizing their community. That man that they were looking for had multiple warrants out for his arrest. One of them included homicide. So police responded to a home on East 134th Street near the Cleveland-Garfield Heights border, where they spotted the person they were looking for. He ran into the backyard of that home, and when an officer ordered for him to put his hands up, the man instead turned and pointed a weapon. That's when the officer shot and killed him. Police Chief Calvin Williams addressed the media earlier today, saying his officers today made the right decisions.
On this incident, I can say that our officers did what they were supposed to do. They protected themselves, and more importantly, they came out here to protect our community on a call from a citizen saying, "We're being terrorized by this person. Can you please come and find this person?"
Now, we don't know many details about the suspect at this time. His name has not been released. As for the officer involved, the police union president tells us he's a 10-year veteran on the force. He's also unnamed in this case. So what happens next? The sheriff's department will take over the investigation, as they do in all fatal Cleveland police shootings that involve an officer. They're being assisted by the state's Bureau of Criminal Investigation. And we're told that all officers in this case were wearing body cameras. They all activated their body cameras as they were supposed to do. All of that footage will be turned over to sheriffs and released as soon as they possibly can. Chief Williams added that he hopes that that's something that happens sooner than later, Jay.
All right, Brandon Simmons live tonight on What's New. Brandon, thanks. Betsy?
Well, as we mentioned, this was the second shooting by a law enforcement officer in East Cleveland in just 12 hours. The first happened yesterday afternoon when an undercover DEA agent shot a man he says was armed with a gun. Our January Keaton has more on the sobering statistics of how frequently officers fire their weapons at people.
My son he just ran back in the house, and then he told him to come out, and he was holding his stomach and everything, and I said, what's going on, and they had shot him.
Wednesday's shooting of Trayvon Johnson on East 82nd and Decker Avenue in Cleveland was not the first. Police have shot people about 180 times in Ohio since 2015, according to a study released by the Washington Post.
He shot my nephew for nothing. He shot him for nothing. My nephew didn't do nothing but get out the car and got shot by him out that car.
Agents say they were conducting an unrelated investigation Wednesday when they were approached by two men. One of the men, Trayvon Johnson, allegedly brandished a gun. That's when one of the agents fired his weapon, striking 20-year-old Johnson in the stomach. Trayvon's uncle says Trayvon just went over there to ask who the men were.
As soon as he stepped out the back door of that car, the front door, wherever, he got out that car and he shot him.
Nationwide, nearly 1,000 people have been shot by police in the past year, with Black Americans killed at more than twice the rate of white Americans. 95% of all people shot by police are male, more than half of those between the ages of 20 and 40.
He just started shooting at him. I see him running on the camera, running, dodging. He was shooting at him.
It just made me mad, that's all, Just made me mad. It made me very mad,
Now, many police shootings, of course, are considered justified if they're used to stop a threat to the public or to their own personal body. Now, we have no word on whether Trayvon fired any shots at police officers. Meantime, DEA agents, I talked to them today, they're keeping tight-lipped. They said, listen, we have no new information to give you. But I did just talk to the family a few minutes ago. They said that Trayvon, he is in stable condition at university hospitals, but they can't go in and talk to him because they have a police officer stationed outside the door. They said Trayvon has been arrested, but they don't know for what. Live in Cleveland, January Keaton, 3 News.
Thank you so much for that update, January. Jay?
Testimony ended in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin today. He said he will not take the stand, which means very soon his fate will be in the hands of a jury there. Here's NBC's Jay Gray with what happened inside the courtroom today.
Last night, we had some further discussion, agreed?
Correct. 14 days into his murder trial, Derek Chauvin's voice is heard on the record for the first time in the courtroom, telling the judge his voice won't be heard from the witness stand.
I will invoke my Fifth Amendment privilege today.
And with that decision...
Your Honor, at this time, the defense rests.
Thank you. Mr. Blackwell, does the state have rebuttal?
Yes, Your Honor.
The prosecution's lone rebuttal witness, Dr. Martin Tobin, a pulmonology expert many legal observers already considered their strongest witness, disputing testimony from a defense expert who suggested George Floyd's heart or carbon monoxide from the muffler of the car where Floyd was pinned down could have played a role in his death.
That's not possible.
It's simply wrong.
And it was at most 2%.
At most 2%.
Normal.
Which is normal.
And after Dr. Tobin's brief return to the witness stand,
Your Honor, the state of Minnesota rests.
Hey, members of the jury, the evidence is now complete for this case.
with the testimony over, the judge gives the jury a 3-day weekend, announcing closing statements will come Monday. And then the panel will be sequestered until they reach a decision.
If I were you, I would plan for long and hope for short. Basically, it's up to the jury how long you deliberate, how long you need to come to a unanimous decision on any count.
With this fractured community and the nation waiting. Jay Gray, NBC News, Minneapolis.
On the vaccination front, there is more concern and confusion today as the head of Pfizer now says we'll likely need a booster shot 12 months after you're fully vaccinated. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins joins us now to sort it out. Monica, I know we've heard about booster shots in the past, but I guess the big question would be, why would we need a booster shot? It kind of seems like the 2-dose already included a booster shot in comparison to previous vaccinations that we've had.
Yeah, you could say that, but the booster shot concept is really not new. We've been talking about this for several months now, and for a couple of reasons. One, we know the eventually, like natural antibodies, if you've been infected, it will wane. That protection will wane. And COVID is not leaving the planet anytime soon. It keeps mutating and creating these new variants, and we will need a boost of protection to fight those off. So it's very possible we're going to need a COVID shot every year, just like we do with the flu shot, just to keep up with this virus as it continues to mutate.
All right, so if we need one for Pfizer, what about Moderna and the others?
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume that we're going to need one for all of the current vaccines out there. In fact, Moderna plans to have its booster shot available by fall to protect people going into cold and flu season. And on a positive note, as more people do get vaccinated or naturally infected, the pace of the mutations is expected to slow down, but that doesn't mean we won't need some form of protection as years go by. Moderna, though, is working on a 2-in-1 shot that will contain both the COVID vaccine and a flu shot. So that could be incredibly convenient.
It definitely is going to be convenient because, you get your flu shots every year. We could end up getting the COVID shots every year as the mutations kind of continue on. We've talked about that before, Monica. Now, a big question, can we mix and match the third dose? Meaning, can we have 2 doses of Pfizer and then you get the third dose that's Moderna?
Research is looking into that, especially in Europe, because they had all the issues with the AstraZeneca vaccine. But I think it's best to wait for the data to come out. I know they are researching that. So let's take our guidance from the CDC and the FDA as soon as we get enough data to say that's a good thing or not.
Monica Robbins, great insight as always. Thank you so much. Jay?
Well, Betsy, it is a beautiful sight. This is what the main stage for the NFL draft looks like right now. And as you can see, this thing is really coming together. We've been showing you pictures throughout the building process, and you didn't really know what it was about a week ago. But now, Bets, you can look at it and say,
wow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Now, where is it?
It is
For folks
located,
who may wonder.
It's in the North Coast Harbor, just outside First Energy Stadium.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be convenient to get to. Today marks 2 weeks until the big event. The 3-day draft starts Thursday, April 29th, 2 weeks from today. It'll wrap up Saturday, May 1st. There will also be events at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Science Center. So, Bets, I don't want to put any pressure on the weather folks, but as these things go, oftentimes the success or failure post-draft is based on how the weather plays out. And you know as well as I do, and everybody that's lived here for any length of time, we could have 75 and sunny. We could have 35 and flurries. You just don't know. And I'm not going to ask you what it looks like 2 weeks from now because that's impossible.
We have no idea.
But I certainly hope we get nice weather because the very first NFL draft show on the road was in Chicago. I covered it, and Betsy, it was unbelievable. Weather was in the 70s. The city was packed, and everybody had a blast.
Yeah, this is definitely not a weather forecast to impact a game or a win-lose. This is strictly a marketing forecast. We just need nice weather to show Cleveland off in the best light possible.
Yeah.
And the good news is Cleveland has a pretty bright light anyway. So no matter what happens, we're going to show off our city as best
we are.
can.
I hope it's 75 and sunny, though.
Me too.
We look a lot better when it's 75 and sunny.
I love five-finger waves. I don't want any less.
I know you do.
I like them.
All right, next on What's New, toy injuries. Consumer investigator Danielle Serino shares some of the top toys for kids and adults when it comes to getting hurt while using them. That's next.
And it's officially called off. The new statement from J-Lo and A-Rod on their relationship. We have some of the details ahead in your pop break.
And Matt Wentz, it's much easier to predict what's going to happen in the next couple of hours or so. So what do we look like? That, by the way, isn't a bad-looking picture.
Oh, looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, they definitely can. I took a trash bag out earlier and I came right back in. I said, I'll just take it out when it warms up. Looks can be deceiving. It is chilly outside. We know that. We've seen some snowflakes as well. It almost feels like Thanksgiving is upon us around here. Your outdoor dining forecast, best to stay inside today. We've got temps in the 40s and some lake effect rain and even some snow showers tonight. I'll take that forecast through your weekend, and we have brighter, warmer days ahead. We'll detail it all coming up.
Well, with so many of us spending the last year at home, the number of kids ending up in the emergency room from toys jumped. And one very popular piece of exercise equipment for adults has been linked to serious injuries as well. Consumer investigator Danielle Serino takes a look at how you can protect your children and maybe yourself.
I don't have the option just to take time off, so here they are.
Despite a world basically on lockdown for more than a year, it's been fun and games for some kids. Outdoor toy sales jumped 16% last year, including for pools and playground equipment.
Skateboards and scooters and backyard fun.
But if 2020 is any indication, with the weather warming, we can expect the number of kids getting hurt to grow as well.
When it comes to skateboards, scooters, and hoverboards, the number of injuries treated in emergency rooms is up 39%.
Motorized toys are all the rage, but many can go up to 20 miles per hour, making safety gear a must. That means a helmet that fits properly and has a sticker showing it complies with the Consumer Product Safety Commission, or CPSC, standards.
And stay out of the street when possible, because this is where we see the biggest serious injuries.
Injuries from ingesting batteries are also up, more than 93% last year among 5 to 9-year-olds. The biggest increase, though, came from fireworks and flares, even sparklers, which are more dangerous than they may seem.
Because sparklers burn at the temperature of a blowtorch, and you wouldn't hand your child a blowtorch.
But adult toys have proven to be just as dangerous. When COVID closed gyms, many bought treadmills and stationary bikes.
Stay with me, Peloton, you got it.
In fact, revenue for fitness company Peloton increased 128% last year. But it came at a price. The CPSC reports that a 3-year-old suffered a, quote, significant brain injury after getting trapped under a Peloton treadmill last month. The company says the child is expected to fully recover, but another child died after an accident involving the company's Tread Plus treadmill. Without offering details about the incident, CEO John Foley told customers to review and follow all safety warnings and instructions, keep children and pets away from its equipment at all times, remove the safety key from the treadmill, and store it out of reach of children. It isn't just Peloton treadmills causing accidents, though. More than 2,000 children under the age of 8 were injured from treadmills in 2019. A reminder that more exercise and less screen time are only helpful if safety comes first. Accidental poisonings also rose during the pandemic, so always make sure to label and lock up any cleaning supplies, detergents, or other hazardous materials. I'm Danielle Serino, 3 News.
Always good news. And we turn to the dad of the hour, as we always do at this time. Matt, I'm sure you have some safety bits of advice for all of us parents out there who just let our kids run around like crazy.
Yeah, Betsy, yesterday I was actually thankful that I didn't do an outdoor live shot because Emmy, I guess, fell off the trampoline and had blood all over her. So she's fine, by the way. But
wow.
That would have been horrific in the background. Yeah, that would have been real great.
Anyway, I'm sorry
don't
to hear
ask
that.
for me for tips.
I'm sorry to hear that she was injured, for sure. I hope she's feeling better. Here's the weather word today, Matt. It's in this vein of toys. I think it's the greatest toy ever invented, and it's super safe. And I don't know how you're going to get it into the weather forecast. Legos.
Oh, that's great. I thought you were going to take this into like super soakers. No, not at all. Absolutely not. Hey, Jay, while I have you real quick, I've got some stats. I'm going to make a graphic of this to make it all easier. But this is NFL draft weather here in Cleveland. Our warmest temperature on those days, 84. The coldest temperature for a high was 40. So that's the range. Last year, it rained both days. Year before, it rained both days. So
what we're due for sunny days
weather
then.
We've got. I know. Let's get today out of the way as well. And then, the odds are on our side for sure. So, we'll get Legos into the forecast. Just want to give you an early preview for what we can expect. Yeah, kind of messy today as expected. We've had these showers that drop some rain and then they're out of here. You get a sun peak. Most of us kind of locked into the clouds here, especially down to the south. We are getting some sun along the lakeshore. But this is just that cool air aloft and just downright cold air aloft that's triggering these showers. And as you get some daytime heating, you get some explosion on radar of those showers. A lot of this will wane in intensity tonight. But this is that area low pressure. It was up in Michigan yesterday, now heading south. As we look at the bigger picture, though, once we get this out of here, we've got pretty quiet weather off towards the west. This is our system that will impact us this weekend. It will slide along to the south. We'll likely still have some cold air aloft. So we could trigger a couple isolated showers this weekend. Nothing widespread, though. Until then, look at these numbers. These are average highs in November. We've got 39 right now, Ravenna. When you have really cold air up above you, you get a shower. It brings that rain down. It also brings that cold air down. So when you get the rain, that temp will drop a couple degrees, and then it'll shoot right back up into the 40s. But this is a number you really care about, what it feels like outside, generally in the 30s. And that won't go anywhere anytime soon. We've got the coolest air across the country here, and then another one out west where they've got a snowstorm ongoing. Notice even the deep south isn't that warm. This cold air goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Clouds and showers will stick around tonight, becoming primarily in the lake effect. I want to say snowbelt, but I don't want to say the word snow. Out in Lake Geauga, Ashtabula County. I think you've got the best chance of rain tomorrow morning. What happens tomorrow, though, we will see some gradual clearing. I do think those clouds will hang tough. Temperatures generally hanging in the upper 40s for highs tomorrow. May get a 50 down towards areas down to the south. But we've got warmer air for there. You can take those Legos outside as you get into Sunday and Monday. We'll have temperatures up near 60 degrees or so. And that'll feel nice compared to where we are now. Union Home Mortgage 7-day. Lingering shower chances this weekend. They will be scattered. A nice day on Monday. And then we do it all over again with perhaps some snowflakes to end things Tuesday night and Wednesday. So we've got one more round of this to go as we get into next week. We'll be back with more after this.
Well, it's time now for your daily entertainment news. There's brand new details on Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez. A popular rapper takes questions from kids, and the Fast and the Furious cast is back. Here's Kira Cotton with your pop break.
Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez have called it quits after a 2-year engagement. The news comes just 1 month after the two announced that they were working on things after hitting a rough patch in their relationship. The pair issued a statement this morning saying, "We have realized we are better as friends and look forward to remaining so. We will continue to work together and support each other on our shared businesses and projects. We wish the best for each other and one another's children." The two went on to thank everyone for their messages of support. We all know that kids say the darndest things, but Lil Nas X was up for the challenge. The 22-year-old artist most recently appeared in an episode of Arts and Raps and tackled tough questions from the kid host.
What does it mean to come out of the closet?
It means you're like, hey everybody, I'm this thing, and you guys didn't even know that, but now you know.
While the mainstream artist has been the target of criticism lately, he nailed it when asked what it meant to be unapologetically yourself.
It means just like doing yourself at all costs, you know, no matter like who's watching.
The Fast and Furious cast is back with another trailer for the upcoming film. The new trailer for the 9th installment of the franchise was released yesterday and features the return of some old faces. Dom, played by Vin Diesel, goes head-to-head with his brother Jacob, played by John Cena. There's more on the resurrection of Han, Bow Wow reprises his role as Twinkie, and so much more. Fast and Furious 9 is set to be released June 25th. And Cleveland's own Machine Gun Kelly is set to get into the nail business. According to reports, he plans to drop a unisex polish line this fall. Back to you guys.
All right, Kiera, thank you very much. Right now, it's off to Worth the Watch. It takes us to Dodger Stadium, where one fan wanted a home run ball at all costs. Justin Turner, deep to left center. Now, you got to watch the fan here. We're going to give you another look. He wanted it so badly, he let his nachos go. The ball hit his nacho cheese and it exploded all over him.
Oh.
But the good news is he got the ball. And Betsy, this story gets even better. So when Justin Turner found out that the guy lost his nachos and was wearing the cheese all over his jacket, he did what any kind ball player would do. He had a new order of nachos sent to the fan. How about that?
That is awesome. Look at that. And you know, the videos of people catching those crazy balls, sometimes they do the craziest things. It looked to me like he just didn't have time to make a decision.
No,
he
didn't. He went into reaction mode.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite from a couple of years ago was a father was holding his toddler. Big foul ball was hit his way, and he reaches up, catches it. Never does anything with the toddler was safe, and he got the ball.
I like the people that have their drink in their hand.
Yeah, that's always good.
Perfect. All right, well, coming up for us here in the next half hour, lots more to talk about. We have just learned about the former vice president having surgery. We have full details ahead on what he had done.
Plus, we're talking price of construction. Wait till you hear what's going on with prices of 2x4s and regular sheets of plywood. It's out of control. Will Ewick has that story for us.
And it's Throwdown Thursday. It's back. Matt Wentz is going to join us again for a breakdown of some of the best gardening and lawn care practices for the season. We might be a little bit more even-steven on this one, but the lawn thing is so you. So.
Yeah, but the weather part of it is all you.
Well, that's true.
It's going to be fun.
We'll see how it goes.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back to the program. Along with Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford. It's final from Chicago after being no-hit last night. Betsy, the Indians bounce back today with a big 4-2 win. They're back in first place.
That is definitely a very big deal. And of course, we have had just a whole smattering of different weather happening across Northeast Ohio as hopefully the tribe's going to be heating up. The temperatures are cooling down, but we're all going to make a turn here. We're going to start talking more spring and summery type stuff. And we are talking about planting flowers in your garden. That's our Throwdown Thursday topic coming up.
All right. That's coming up later in the program. In the meantime, we start at 5:30 as we always do. 3 things you need to know. Testimony is ended in the murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin, who was seen with his knee across George Floyd's neck for about 9 minutes the day Floyd died. Chauvin addressed the court today for the first time, 14 days into his murder trial, saying he will not testify from the witness stand. Now the defense rests and the trial pauses for 3 days. Closing statements set to begin Monday.
Also, just today we have learned former Vice President Pence is recovering after having a pacemaker implanted yesterday. He is expected to fully recover and return to normal activity soon. Pence's office says he had been experiencing a slow heart rate over the past 2 weeks, resulting in getting the pacemaker at Inova Fairfax Hospital in Virginia. The 61-year-old former vice president has a previously diagnosed issue that put him at increased risk for cardiac conditions.
And our number 3 thing today, it is COVID-19 cases down slightly for the second straight day. The state reporting 2,164 new cases. And while that number is down day to day, it is still slightly higher than our 2-week average, which now stands at 2,005 daily cases. By the way, the positivity rate I mentioned yesterday was 6.2%, down big today at 4%. But the biggest news of the day pertains to our number of cases per 100,000. Up again for the 3rd straight week. We're now sitting, Bets, at 200 cases per 100,000. A month ago, we were all the way down to 144 cases per 100,000. Our vaccine totals continue to climb. We're now at 4.25 million Ohioans that have received at least one shot. That makes up 36.4% of our total population.
Well, as the economic fallout from the pandemic continues to stabilize, there are a few areas where trickle-down effects have people talking. Shortages of microchips, slowdowns in shipping, and drastic price hikes are still happening, and sometimes in rather unexpected sectors. And with so many looking to upgrade or update your home, Will Ewick tells us the bills for building are going up.
I'd say my calls in the last year are up 500%. I could probably only take 1 in 10 jobs for every call I get.
It's been a busy year for Tori Corbo in complete renovations.
Definitely a lot of kitchens, bathrooms, some room additions.
It seems like everyone is looking to remodel, build, or brush on a little home improvement, which is a good thing in his line of work.
Probably turned away $1 million worth of work in the last 12 months.
The renovation projects are happening all over and causing some pretty steep price increases, with local lumber suppliers citing certain products climbing 2 to 3 times what they cost this time last year.
Supply and demand, so the demand is huge and the supply is short.
Tori says it's not just the price of lumber that's going up, but almost all construction material. Think if you're putting on an addition like this, everything from the gutters on the outside to the metal and a new fireplace. In the kitchen, think of everything from the faucets to the electrical systems, HVAC, copper piping. Even smaller renovations, like redoing a butler's pantry, you have to factor in every little detail, like the track that the barn door swings on. It all adds up.
I feel like they could have upped their production, but I think they're taking advantage of the situation too and limiting maybe quantities of certain things to get a premium dollar.
And the drastic shift is making exact project quotes for people like Tori harder and harder to nail down.
We're giving them an allowance for this material. If it goes up, they have to pay the difference if they want to do the job. If it goes down, it goes down.
So, should you wait before you frame that porch into a sunroom or turn your kitchen into a chef's dream? Well, that just depends on what you're willing to spend or how long you're willing to wait.
I think there's a correction coming. It could be late this summer, or it could be next year. I've asked my lumber salesman before, when's this going to slow down? He said when people stop buying it.
Will Ewick, 3 News.
Anybody else thinking to themselves, man, that was a really fancy house Will was in?
I was digging it, yeah.
I was like, butler's pantry, woo, that's a pretty high dollar place. Well, I know a lot of folks have gotten their stimulus checks, and you're using those stimulus checks to tackle projects, maybe going to be adding on to the deck or whatnot. Well, keep in mind, there's other stuff that is on major back order, like furniture. 20 weeks or more is the length of the back orders these days, just because of chain supply issues. And now some people have to wait months for new appliances. Cars on the lots, they're dwindling. I mean, it's really kind of impacting consumers.
Not a great time to be building a new home because, like Will said, all of the materials are priced way up. It's the perfect storm. You know it. It's the first rule of economics, supply and demand. Supply chains have been affected by COVID, so supplies are way down, and demand, because of, you mentioned it, the stimulus checks, way up. So it's the perfect storm, and it could be a while before we see these prices come back down to earth. Wow. Will, thanks. Great story. Well, this is pretty cool. This is a night vision video from a Navy destroyer. It shows a mysterious flying triangle above the deck of the ship. The Pentagon confirmed the images were taken by Navy personnel, part of a report here on unidentified aerial phenomenon presented to Congress this summer. Skeptics, Bets, say it's just a camera trying to focus. I don't know what it is.
You know, there's been a lot of these kind of reports coming out recently. My parents are on Facebook, and they see all kinds of fun stuff. My dad's like, "Did you hear about the pilots?" And I was like, "No," but there were pilots that they didn't know what they were looking at. Now we've got a Navy destroyer ship that didn't know what it was looking at. It's a little doo-doo-doo-doo.
Your dad knows what he's talking about. I watched that video of the pilots, and
it was different, right?
I was convinced. I mean, look, they saw something. What it was, it's up to you to decide. But after watching that video, I was convinced that they saw something that they'd never seen before. We're talking about a video that the viewers haven't seen. It's out there. Many of them may have. But yeah, UFO talk is on the rise for sure. Who knew? All right, if you're like me, you've already started getting out in the yard to prep for spring cleanup. Matt Wintz will quiz Betsy and me on some top lawn care tips ahead of this week's Throwdown Thursday.
The more I think about this, the less of a chance I have. Plus, how the entire MLB is honoring Jackie Robinson today. We're going to tell you those details next in Clicking in Cleveland. And it's not the easiest pizza to secure, but Corner Spot's Ghost Kitchen Pizza. I think Ghost Chicken Pizza sounds pretty good, though. Maybe the Ghost Kitchen can produce a Ghost Chicken Pizza. Oh, my word. Thank God it's Thursday. Anyway, the Corner Spot is worth the hassle. They are our Save Our Sauce spot this afternoon. Hopeful diners must first get on an email list, then you place the order before all of the available slots are filled, and then you pay via Venmo. So there is a bit of a process, but it's worth it. Detroit-style pizza, crisp corners, chewy centers, maybe ghost chicken. And our Doug Tratner has a whole list of his favorite pizza joints. I went out to Sinato's down at Rivergate last night. We have it at WKYC.com/SaveOurSauce. We'll be right back. Ghost chicken, come on.
The day. Hey, yeah, I do. Yep. Today is the day that Major League Baseball is honoring the Brooklyn Dodgers Hall of Famer. Cool.
Well, Matt, yesterday we were talking about today's showers could be very interesting. We may end up getting some sun. We could have some rain. We could have some hail. And I just had somebody email me a picture of hail all over their back deck. And the sun is shining at this moment. So, you know, there's a whole mixed bag happening out there.
Yeah, that's for sure, Betsy. Anytime you play with that April sunshine, which is just so strong this time of year, and you bring cold air aloft, we talked about it last 2 days, you get lots of instability, and that's what's creating not just the hail, but the grapple. And the cool thing I saw earlier today, it had rained at our house, and then the pavement, when the sun came out, was just steaming. So we had steam everywhere. It just something else this time of year, right? You just never know what you're going to get. And you know what? This isn't going to last too much longer. We've got tonight and then early tomorrow to deal with this kind of colder air mass around here. You see temperatures area-wide generally in the 40s. You get some of those heavier downpours, though, even a little bit of that hail. Temperatures drop into the 30s in spots. You see Ravenna still checking in at 39 degrees. But more importantly, what does it feel like as you step out the door? You get some of those gusts of winds. It's feeling more like the low 30s to around 40 degrees. So a chilly evening out there, and it's not going to change a whole lot. We do have some sunshine starting to show up along our lakeshore counties, some pretty heavy rain, probably mixed with some hail heading through Akron right now. That stretches into areas of Portage County, sinking down to the south. You see off towards the north, we're not quite done with more showers coming across the lake. Most of this will stay rain tonight. That's the good news. Can't rule out some wet snow mixing in as you get in a higher elevation out east, but the bulk of the snow from this will actually be over in Pennsylvania, and then they're going to get accumulating snow inland New England. They're not looking forward to that. I can tell you that, especially after some of those trees are coming on out. But off towards the west, this will be our next weather system. This will slide to the south this weekend, but with cold air in place and the system kind of nearby, we could see some showers kicking off both late Saturday and then Sunday afternoon as well. They'll be very isolated, so we're looking at a pretty nice weekend. So the next 12 hours, notice how temperatures kind of flatline, not a real big drop tonight, especially near the lake. We'll have more showers in the forecast overnight tonight as well. Your National Design Mart, I want to show you the big picture look here, the forecast as we go over the weekend. Here comes that system down to the south Saturday. You can see how there's just a smattering of kind of unorganized showers, mainly to the south, Saturday afternoon and evening. Sunday, we start dry. We bubble up some showers across the Ohio Valley as well. Other than that, it's going to be a pretty quiet weekend. Our next system of interest drops in from the north. This thing is coming down from way up towards the north, bringing cold air with it. It'll start to move in Tuesday, likely with some rain, and then cold air will change that rain over to a mix late Tuesday into Wednesday. How much snow just for kicks? The Euro not saying much. Big snowstorm out towards Denver. GFS a little bit more bullish with this one. It has some accumulating snow perhaps. This would be wet and it wouldn't stick around very long. That's the good news. So something to keep an eye on next Tuesday into Wednesday. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Lingering showers tomorrow. I think most of the area is dry though. Those clouds will be tough to get out of here. There's your isolated showers this weekend. Monday looks great. 60s before, we go down into that Wednesday system. But we should recover nicely. In fact, a week from now, we're looking pretty nice around here, but we've got some days to get through first. Jay.
All right, Matt, thank you very much. Right now, it is time to see what's cooking in Cleveland. For that, we say hello again to our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Stephanie, a very good Thursday to you.
Good Thursday to you, Jay. You know, all eyes will be on Prince Harry at his grandfather's funeral on Saturday, which you can watch right here on 3. Here's what we know. Despite Prince Philip's military service, the palace has decided that no senior royals will wear military uniforms. Now, this is convenient for Harry, who was stripped of military titles when he stepped down. So now they'll all be in plain clothes. Also, Harry and Prince William will not walk beside each other. Instead, their cousin, Peter Phillips, who is the son of Prince Charles's sister, Princess Anne, will walk between them. We should note, though, the princes did not walk side by side at their mom, Princess Diana's funeral either. I'll be talking all about all of this on my 3 Things to Know with Stephanie Haney podcast dropping on Saturday, so keep an eye out for that. Now, with today being Jackie Robinson Day, Major League Baseball is honoring the Brooklyn Dodgers Hall of Famer. Today is the day that Robinson broke the color barrier in the MLB back in 1947. So today, all players and coaches are wearing number 42 uniforms to honor the first black player in the league. That includes the Tribe and the White Sox, playing now in Chicago. And today, the city of Akron has revealed its Rock the Lock Summer Concert Series schedule with lots of tribute bands lined up at Lock 3. To kick things off, on May 28th on Memorial Day weekend, it will be Draw the Line, the endorsed Aerosmith tribute band. Dirty Deeds, the extreme AC/DC tribute group, they'll play on June 4th. On June 11th, Fleetwood Mac will take the stage. And June 18th, Crush, a Bon Jovi tribute, will play. You can find that full schedule on WKYC.com, and it's so much more. Jay and Betsy, they've got lots of great things lined up, including outdoor movie nights and a bunch of summer fun family activities.
All right, very good. Stephanie, thanks. We appreciate it.
Well, everybody, you may remember back in February, right here on What's New, we featured a series called Reconnecting. Our Lindsay Buckingham followed the journey of Kim Miller as she searched for her biological family. You may remember our reactions, and I'm sure you had the same one. At the end, she met her half-sister. They're sisters. Well, they got to meet for the first time in person. Now, we want to do the whole process over again. Are you missing anyone from your life? Have you always wondered where you came from, or maybe longed to meet a birth parent or a sibling? We want to help you. You can email reconnection@WKYC.com. Again, that's reconnection@WKYC.com, and your story may be featured right here on 3 News. Love those stories. Well, coming up for us, April showers. Yeah, they may bring May flowers, and that means it's time to get your green thumbs and your yard ready. We're going to have details on the best lawn care practices in this week's Throwdown Thursday, and I'll tell you, Jay's lawn is pretty darn nice. Mine, nope.
Hey, I'll come over. Just let me know when.
I'm embarrassed.
I'll fix it up, man. I love it. And today's Show Us Something Good just goes to show the limits some people will take to get back their four-legged friends. Wait until you hear the reunion behind this emotional journey. excluding today, the weather this April has been spectacular, and it has many of us already working outdoors, doing cleanup projects, getting ready for the planting season. So today's Throwdown Thursday is all about pro tips when it comes to beautifying our yards and gardens.
That's right. I'm first. Matt Wentz is today's host with us. So, Matt, let's get to it. Take it away so Jay can win and get the lamp back. By the way, we played for the coveted leg lamp, which is beautiful in the Weather Center. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. I apologize in advance for these. All right, question number one. What are the two most important factors to consider when starting a garden? A, seeds and soil. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you don't have sun and you don't have water, it doesn't matter how good the soil and the seeds are, you're going to have nothing. So I'm going with B. You have to have sun and water.
Jay, you're absolutely right. I don't know how you figured that out. There were some other options like love and talking to the plants, but it didn't fool you
I'm
there,
not a
little
believer
gardener.
in that.
Good old sunshine.
Of course you're not. All right. Let's go to question number two. Why is mulch popular in gardening? A, weed prevention. B, water retention. Go ahead.
I'm going to say weed prevention because that's why we use it. Plus, it looks nicer than bare dirt.
Yeah, well, that's true, Betsy. However, we're not done. C, looks nice, or D, all of the above. Go ahead, Jay.
All of the above, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, now I almost buzzed in.
So technically, I'm still correct because I kind of got 2 out of 3.
Well, but you gotta get them all.
You didn't say this was an SAT question, and there was no D option of all of the above.
All of the above.
Betsy, we'll give you 0.5 for that one.
Close enough.
Yeah, if you're looking to save some money, you could also put down shredded leaf straws or other similar materials. That's what my notes say. I don't know anything about gardening. All right, next question. Which of these foods is in the rose family? Is it A, raspberries, B, apples, C, cherries, or D, all of the above in the rose family?
I have no idea.
I'm going to say raspberries.
All right, Jay, do you have a guess?
Well, I would go with all the above.
Yeah, Jay, you're right again. Betsy, I am so sorry. You get another half a point. You get another half a point.
How are apples related to roses? I am asking. Where is there a rose tree?
They're red.
Are you kidding me?
They're red.
They're all members of the rose family and can be identified by their flowers.
I call balderdash.
All right. Here's an easy one for you, Betsy. True or false? Yeah, I know you love these. You should prune spring flowering shrubs right after the bloom fades. You should prune them right after the bloom fades. True or false?
False. It depends on which one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Please say that's true.
Betsy, did you buzz in?
Well, I mean, you were directing it at me. Betsy, this is an easy one. So I figured
trying to help you out, Betsy.
So your answer's depends. Jay, what's your answer? True or false?
I'm going to say true.
Maybe we should say all of the above.
All right.
It's true and it's false.
Probably. Jay, you're absolutely right. Spring flowering shrubs set their buds for next year in the fall, so you don't want to wait until too long or you'll cut off next year's flower buds.
Yeah,
Jay, I think you're hands down the winner of this.
Yeah, well, listen, I have to credit my wife as I get the trophy. You can bring the trophy up here. I have to credit my wife because she's the one that knows all the stuff about
You can bring the trophy
and
right
gardening.
Up here.
Here's the award. I'd like to
I just want to say I always cut out my butterfly bushes in the spring, all the way to the ground, and they come back beautiful. But, what do I know?
There we go. Next on What's New. Matt, thanks. Great job as the MC.
Awesome.
Grab your tissues. The emotional reunion between a pup and his owner right here in Cleveland. That's our Show Us Something Good, and it's straight ahead.
Hey, mic check. 1, 2, 3. Mic check, mic check. Hey, David, how you doing? How's your day? Do you need more, or I'm fine? Thank you.
years ago, Kim hired him at Channel 19.
Is that right?
He was a news producer, and as soon as she hired him, she got the job at Dallas.
Hey, David, what a small world.
So she
My
left,
gosh.
And now he finally will work for her.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
Hey, David, good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ Mitchell. Here's what's happening tonight. I do.
Hey, buddy. Sam.
Oh, this is definitely something good to show you. Sam the dog is finally reunited with his owner after 4 years. But here's the real kicker. Sam went missing in Georgia, nearly 700 miles away from Cleveland. He was dropped off at the city kennel here, and his owners drove 8 hours to get him back after learning his microchip identified where he was from. We have no idea how Sam got from Georgia to Cleveland, but a happy ending indeed. And just look at that tail go.
Yeah. 4 years he still remembers. Microchips. Pretty incredible. We're out of time. Back tomorrow at 5. We'll see you then.
What Matters Most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, shootings in Cleveland. A law enforcement agent shoots a man, and just over 12 hours later, another man is shot by a police officer. What we've learned about these cases.